Hello, everyone. Good evening from the East Coast of New York.
Hi, everyone. Nice to see everybody joining us tonight. Always great to see people coming in from different parts of the country and Northeast. Today, we have just a nice program where we're going to answer all your questions about the New York State Family History Conference. And we'll go into detail about some of the events, sessions, and much more, anything that you need to know for the conference in September and October. I'm here with Sue Miller, who's the Director of Programs, and I'm the Online Programs Coordinator. So please, if you have questions during the presentation, please put them in the Q&A section, and we will answer whatever we can during the presentation. So please don't put it in the chat. We want to make sure we don't miss any of your questions. Sue, do you want to tell us a little more about the conference?
Absolutely. And I will share my screen here. And we're going to talk all about the New York State Family History Conference tonight. And first of all, I'd like to acknowledge the fact that quite a number of you on the program are already registered, either for coming to join us in Albany, which we are really looking forward to, or joining us from home. So thank you for that. We do appreciate that. So first of all, we're going to talk about what is the New York State Family History Conference. And we're going to talk about what you can learn, the educational sessions, and then also the social events, how you can enjoy the conference. So first of all, what is the conference? Well, you can always learn about the conference. If you see an image like this, Return to New York, whether it's to return to your New York research or actually come back to New York with us, to be with us in Albany, we want you to be able to return to your New York roots. So that is our theme for this year. We are going to be in Albany. This is a picture from a few years ago when we were in Westchester and Tarrytown, but we are going to have our sessions in person in Albany. And we are going to live stream some of them during the weekend that we're in Albany. We're going to announce that live stream program a little bit later, but some of them will be live streamed from Albany. So you'll be able to literally participate live with us if you're at home. So definitely want to know what you can learn, right? The conference is about learning as one of the primary things. So we have educational sessions. Those are classes. Most all of them are about an hour long, where we bring in and we hire the New York subject experts and the people who are experts in a particular subject. And we bring them to you so you can learn about the topics at the New York State Family History Conference. And a little bit later, I'm going to show you what that handout, the syllabus material is like. So that's a key component of learning. And everyone who registers for the conference will get the full conference syllabus. An important thing to keep for the long term. So we will have more than 50 sessions for those who join us in Albany. And we've divided them into what we might call subjects or tracks, topics, all about New York, methods and tools, one of my favorites. We've got some migration talks because how people move around is important to understand. We've got topics that are not only New York, but go beyond New York as well. And then we have some sessions on particular people and places that are specific, that come to New York and populate New York. So let me just give you a quick view of who some of our subject matter experts and New York experts are. We've got a terrific lineup of presenters. And you might recognize a few of the faces on this slide right now. I hope you do. We definitely have nationally recognized speakers, but we also have some people who are kind of the up and coming people on particular topics. So let me just show you, you can find out a lot of what you need to know about on our website. So if you give me just a moment, I am going to change my share for a second here. And I am going to go live to the NYG&B website. Let me just bring that up so I can see that. Okay. If you're not seeing that, somebody can let me know, but right now I should be showing the website. This is the NYG&B homepage. Okay. And I want you to know you do not need to be logged in to see all these pages. On this browser, I am not logged in. So right on our homepage, you can go straight to the New York Family History Conference, or if you go to the events page, you can also access the New York Family History Conference just by clicking on that item in the menu. So I'm going to move my screen a little bit. Hopefully that's a little bit easier for you to see now. So you can participate in person in Albany, and we certainly want to see as many of you as is possible with all the circumstances we have going on to be with us in Albany. We're really looking forward to that. It's been too long, right? We have a quick little video if you want to look at it, but we also explain what the conference passes are. The NYSFHC Pass is for people who are going to come to Albany, and the NYSFHC at Home Pass is going to be for those who come just online with us. But importantly, what you want to know is what you're going to learn. So I'm going to click on the sessions section here. That flips me over to the sessions page. And here you are, and we break down those topics where the subject matter experts present their topics into categories. So you can look at the All About New York. I'm going to jump down for just 1 minute to methods and tools. So again, this is one of my favorite categories. I love New York research, but I also want to learn some of these broader aspects that I can apply beyond New York to my New York research, absolutely, but also to beyond. So adding the story to family history, Kyle Hurst, and you'll notice here, it's listed as who will be in person, or as you see on this next one with Blaine Bettinger, he will be both in person and that will be recorded for on demand. So you can see how the sessions are presented. You know, New York is right next to Connecticut, and we have a lot of overlap between the two. So we brought in Brian O'Sullivan to do an on-demand session on Connecticut research. So as you scroll these pages, you will see what some of the great sessions are. Okay, and you can always pop back to the top of the page and go back and say, hey, I want to see about what are those All About New York sessions. So again, take a look at who the speakers are as well. Janice Lovelace does a great job with her presentations. She's been with us at the New York State Family History Conference before. And I actually saw Janice out in Sacramento, California recently, and she can't travel cross country, but you know, she is going to be able to present for us in an on-demand session. Jane Wilcox, who is the author of the still forthcoming New York State Archives guide that will be published by the NYG&B, is going to present about colonial British and Loyalist records at the New York State Archives. Eric Grunset is a former library director at the DAR Library in Washington, D.C., and those DAR records can be so important for New York research because they capture data that might not otherwise have been captured. So as you scroll through these topics, so I'm just picking out the first couple, and I'll scroll through slowly here. I always love listening to Judy Russell. She's an excellent speaker. Her topics tend to be a little bit more advanced, but I think that's okay. Even if you're only just beginning your New York genealogy, listening to someone like Judy Russell allows you to learn a few things where even if you don't apply them immediately, over the long term, something that she will have said will come back and you'll go later, I remember Judy Russell talking about that. And that's what I need to go learn more about. So we have plenty of topics for learning great things about New York for the subject matter experts. Say pause for a breath here. Noah, if you do see any questions, just let me know and I will try and get to those. We just released the New York Researcher magazine, and Rhonda Hoffman actually wrote an article for us on this topic. But there are some people, the government secrets revealed, the county supervisor's proceedings. Sometimes people don't always read articles. So being able to listen to Rhonda talk about this record set that could be important to your New York research can be a real asset. So please, read that article before you come to the conference. It's available to NYG&B members. It's in the New York Researcher magazine and the summer issue that just came out. Summer issue is still being printed right now, but the digital issue is available to you right now. So all of these different topics, and I'll just scroll through very briefly here for a moment. But in all of these, sometimes you have a question about, well, who is Skip Dewitt? Okay, so when you're on the website, you can just click right over here and there's Skip's picture and his bio. Skip specializes in upstate research. He does a lot in land records, and you can see that right here with two of his talks, the Hidden Gem, the Holland Land Company in Central New York, and the Land Company's post-Revolutionary War land development in New York. Those are great topics to hear from Skip, and those are brand new talks. Skip has not put those on before, so we are really looking forward to hearing from Skip on this topic. And he's also done some webinars for us, and he has a great Y-DNA case study that's in the NYG&B member library. Liz Gamel, now here we're just going alphabetically through things here. Liz Gamel is coming in from Minnesota for us to talk about the 1890 census, that, the loss, almost total loss of the 1890 census puts a big hole, for a lot of people who do census research in that time period. We miss that 1890 census in the middle of 1880 and 1900. She's going to talk about other things you can look at, including some New York State records. She's also talking on a great topic for the more recent, when I say more recent, in the 1900s, passenger lists. At a certain point, they started putting notation codes on those alien passenger lists, and trying to figure out what those codes mean can be a real challenge for people. So Liz is going to speak to that topic. So we've got lots of great speakers. I'll just kind of go through for a minute here. I already spoke about Eric Grunset and Rhonda. Kyle Hurst we saw already. Terry Koch-Bostic does a great job speaking to Irish topics. We have Brad Kolodny, who is doing a session on the Jews of Long Island from 1705 to 1918. I already spoke briefly about Janice Lovelace. Annette Burke-Little is back to the New York State Family History Conference. I'm really looking forward to her Erie Canal and the opening of the West, as well as the New York Quakers. Now, she's also got a great talk about finding and using digitized manuscripts, and those are something I like to use a lot, and I will look at that too. But the Erie Canal talk and the New York Quakers are things that I want to learn a little bit more about. Robert Raymond will be here from Family Search. He has great information to share with us on some of the best ways to use Family Search and finding New York church records on the Family Search website, at the library, and at the history centers. So, spoke about Judy Russell. Someone you may not have heard before is Jeanette Shaliga. She is really got a great talk on censuses and also navigating FultonHistory.com. FultonHistory.com is a site that is wonderful and free. It does present a few challenges for a lot of people. So that is definitely something that if you haven't delved into how best to use those records, that's a great way to go. We have Penny Walters, and I think a number of people will be very interested in searching for your ancestors when you're adopted. It's a topic that can be very difficult for people. And Penny herself is adopted, and she has a passion for this subject. So I hope if there's any interest for you in that subject, you'll watch that one. And again, Jane Wilcox, the author of the book coming up. And again, her talk, You Be the Judge, was Nicholas Storm alive during the Revolutionary War? That is a brand new talk, has not been presented before. So it's one I hope you will try to look at. And I did not get all the way to the top of the list, so please go and scroll the whole list. Okay, I'm going to pause here for a moment as I pop back to the conference home. And Noah, do we have any questions I should be looking at?
Yeah, so we do have one question that came in. This is from Shirley, who wants to know if there's going to be any field trip to NYG&B Library or the New York State Archives to familiarize, or anything related to them.
Right. So let me address the first part. The NYG&B Library, for the most part, our NYG&B collections are online. You can go here on our website. I'm still on our website here, to the online collections here for those things that are digitized, including the NYG&B record. And you can look at that collections catalog. Right now, with limited access and appointments to the New York State Archives and to the New York State Library, we don't really have a lot of time in the schedule to be able to do what you're calling field trips. But if you are coming in advance of the conference, or you are staying later in Albany, I would highly recommend that you go and visit those repositories. You could decide to skip some of the sessions if you wanted to go over the state library and state archives. There's not a lot of time between the sessions the way we've structured this. And let me pop over. Noah sent you a link in the chat to the brochure. Let me just share that. Sorry, multiple screens. I am paying attention if I look away. So our brochure for the conference, and let me just make this a little bit smaller so you can see. This is our brochure for the conference, and it has the schedule for NYSFHC and Albany at a glance. So you'll be able to see that. We start the opening session at 11:30 a.m. We do have a shorter lunch break, and then we go through until 4:45. And then at 5 o'clock, we have the welcome reception. So I hope many of you who are in Albany will be able to join us for that and be able to socialize with other people. Many times what we do is with our little name tags, we put what counties we're researching so that people can connect for their county research. And I'm going to blow this up because that's probably a little bit too hard to see, isn't it? Let me blow that up a little bit more. On Friday, we begin our first session at 9 and we go through to 5:15. There is an hour for lunch, but that's not a lot of time to go over to the state library and state archives. And then we have the New York Stories Night as our evening program. And I'm going to talk more about that later, so I'm going to save that. And then again, on Saturday, we begin at 9 and we'll finish up with the last session by about 4 o'clock. And then we do actually have a closing reception. I don't know of other conferences that actually have a little closing event, but we want to give you a chance to connect for another few minutes with people and share what fun you've had and things like that. So hopefully that helps answer that question a bit. And again, just to quickly show you this brochure, it gives you the whole program for Albany, and including the opening session, which I'm really looking forward to. That is going to be about the lost stories from the American Revolution. There was a fire in New York City in 1776. And, you know, it'll help us understand even more about some of the people that we might not have known about. So then you can take a look at the in-person schedule, and there's 3 different sessions at any given time, as you're seeing right here as I kind of scroll across. So you can pick which one you wish to go to. But again, quite a few of these are also on demand. I'm going to skip forward for a moment here past the in Albany, and you can see the section. This part of the brochure gives you all of the sessions that will be presented on demand for you. Those on-demand sessions. So in Albany, I don't think I gave you the dates, did I? In Albany, we'll be in Albany from September 8th to September 10th. And some of these sessions will be live streamed to those who have the on-demand ticket. So you can watch one of the three from home, and it'll be just one of the three. You won't have a choice. We can't stream all of them, but we can stream at least one room. So all of these sessions will be on demand later, including the ones that are live streamed. So if you have a conflict for that weekend, for that Thursday through Saturday, you can get an on-demand ticket, and those sessions that will be live streamed will also be recorded so you can reach them on demand. So we will also, I must say, we will have an expo space that will be online. It's not going to be an in-person exhibit space, but it will be online. So you will be able to contact those exhibitors and send them a message just about any time, or use the forum to contact people. Okay, and the website and the brochure both give you a full listing. We were scrolling through this listing of sessions before, and you can see over here in this column, it always tells you what the format for any given session is. Okay, let me pause for a minute and just check in. Noah, any more questions for a moment before I pop over back to my PowerPoint and let people know a few more things?
We haven't gotten more questions, but we did get a follow-up comment from Shirley, who said that they do plan to either stay after or arrive a little early for research. Haven't really figured out the timing, but they would really hate anything at the conference.
Right.
So if you want to tell them a little more about the NYSFHC at Home Pass for in-person registrants?
Yes, so when people come to Albany and buy the Albany in-person pass, which is called the NYSFHC Pass, and let me pop right back over to the website really quickly. 1 second, so that I can show you that. And I'm going to go back to the website, to the New York State Family History Conference. Okay, there are 2 passes. The NYSFHC Pass includes the Albany, and here I'll highlight it here, in full access to the NYSFHC at home. So anything that we do in Albany that's recorded, you will be able to watch again if you really loved it, or watch for the first time when you go home. And that'll be available from the 12th of September to October 17th. Okay, so honestly, that if you can swing it, that is absolutely the way to go, to come to Albany and be with everyone. And then anything that's recorded, we will be able to present to you at home too. There are a few things where the speakers have not agreed to necessarily do anything but the in-person talk. So just take a look for those when you are going to be in person in Albany, because it will be the only chance to see it when it says in person only is to be in Albany with us. So Nancy was asking, will the in-person also be recorded? I think I just answered that in a slightly different way, but when you go to this session page, okay, and you scroll down the sessions, each of these on the website tells you what will be both in person and on demand. So if you can only watch from home, if you have to stay home and you can't come to Albany, I really hope you can come to Albany, then watch for those sessions that say in person only. And let me see if I can even find one here in the top. No, okay, here. This, as I said, is a brand new talk from Skip Do It. Okay, and he will not be able to record it before we get to Albany. So that one will be in person only in Albany. So that is definitely one I'm going to go and sit in on. I want to hear that one. Okay. Just scanning over here to see if we have other questions for a minute. Okay, let me tell you just a little bit more for a moment. I'm going to pop back to just there we go. I'm going back to my little PowerPoint here so that I can show you that. We talked about the website for a minute. I very briefly mentioned the keynote session with Professor Benjamin Karp. Again, I really think this is going to be an excellent session. So I just want to give you a quick highlight on that. Now, again, on the educational sessions, this is a screenshot of last year's syllabus. The syllabus is a compilation of all the handouts for all the educational sessions. So you will be able to download this. And again, this is last year's, okay? So I'm just giving you a quick little view of some of the sessions from last year. You will be able to download this entire syllabus for all the sessions, including those sessions that are only on demand, the sessions that are only in person, and the sessions that are both. So if you're at home, you will at least have the syllabus material for the in-person only sessions. So that is a good bonus because you can often learn a lot from the syllabus material. You will be able to download the syllabus at least a week in advance of the conference, and I hope it's going to be even earlier. Reviewing this syllabus to see what the presenters are talking about is a really good way to decide which sessions you want to watch in what order. So I hope you will review the syllabus materials in advance. Okay, let me just pause for a second here and let's check. Okay, Nancy's asking about recording the live ones even with a phone. Nancy, we have to work with both the audio techs at the venue and with the speakers. So it's not as simple as just putting an iPhone up there and copying somebody talking about something. There are permissions and other things. So as much as we would like to be able to record everything, we simply are not able to. But those people who are coming to the NYSFHC at home will have over 40 sessions to choose from. So I hope that answers your question. Let me go on and just speak for a minute too about social connections. You know, one of the great things about being able to come to a conference in person is seeing people and connecting with people. So we will have lunches in Albany, and during that lunch, whether you buy the box lunch or not, because the box lunches are a little bit extra, you will be able to connect with people, and we are going to have some live entertainment in Albany. Now, granted, we won't be able to broadcast that live entertainment from the local people to those at home, but for people who are in Albany, you'll be able to sit around a lunch table and talk about the sessions that you just saw. Those at home will be able to connect with others through the chat. And so many of you did that in the past 3 years. It was great to see all the interaction. And even during a talk, when a speaker was making a point, sometimes your fellow researchers would jump in and help with a question or post a resource that somebody else wanted to know about. So that social interaction and learning from other researchers is really fun. Oh, sorry, I do have to let you know, coffee is going to be provided on Thursday morning for those who are in Albany, a sponsorship from Ancestry Pro genealogists. So as you're registering and checking in with us, there will be coffee there. Always, for many people, not everyone, it's an important point. We also will have, as I mentioned, the opening reception on Thursday evening for those in Albany, and there'll be a closing reception as well. Just wrapping up, grab a cookie before you leave. Friday. This was, I thought, a great event in the 2020 conference. We are bringing back New York Stories Night. New York stories are not the genealogy of our ancestors or ourselves, but the stories of the people we know and love and have researched and have learned about. So if you've got a great story about your ancestors, submissions are open till July 15th, and you can submit that story to membership@nygbs.org. Give us a 250 about word synopsis description of what that story is. And those who are selected will be able to record those in advance so that we will be able to share them with everyone attending the conference. We're also going to be having some more fun. We want to have fun when we're in Albany and at home with some New York trivia. So stay tuned for that. And honestly, if you have a trivia question to submit, Noah, maybe you can pop the education@nygbs.org email address into the chat. If you have a question for trivia that you would like to submit, we would love to hear from you. So let me just really quickly check any open questions we haven't answered yet, Noah. Don't think so. Okay, so let me briefly, again, I know quite a few of you have already purchased your passes either for in Albany. A number of people on the talk tonight are coming to Albany. I'm really looking forward to seeing you. Or have also purchased your NYSFHC at Home Pass, and we'll see lots of you as well. You can simply go to the website and click on the registration. Okay. When you register for events with the NYG&B, you often get this little box here. If you're already a member or have purchased something from us before or registered for an event before, if you remember your login, you just simply do your login. If not, just click that little X box up there and this box will go away. And when you register in person, you'll see this. Okay, and this is as I'm logged in as a member here. Okay, so therefore I'm getting the member rate for this. And I think this was from a few weeks ago. I think our member rate has gone up. The best time to purchase is always now. The closer we get to the conference, it gets a little bit more expensive. But buy your tickets as soon as possible. Okay, and you can get your ticket. And I think I have come to the end of the specific points that I had to make. So, any more questions from people?
We don't really have any other questions. We just got one, but for anybody who wants to ask a question, please put it in the Q&A or the chat. We want to answer as much as we can before we wrap up tonight.
Okay, I see one from Nancy asking about the Research in Albany tour. So the Research in Albany tour is a very different type of experience from a conference experience. A conference experience, as you saw, there's a whole schedule of talks. It's one after the other, after the other, after the other. And it's all about the topics that are being presented and the syllabus material and things like that. When you go on the Research in Albany tour, it's about doing your personal research at the New York State Library and the New York State Archives. So whereas the conference can be anywhere from 250 to 500 or 600 people, the Research in Albany tour is really, we tend to limit it quite a bit. And this year, I don't think we'll be going over 30 people. And we have professional genealogists who are there with us, including myself, who help you in your specific questions. So we do orientations to the New York State Library Research Division. We do an orientation to the New York State Library Special Collections and Manuscripts. and we do a special orientation to the New York State Archives. Then we do an actual tour around the place, like we walk around and show you where things are, and then everyone dives into their own research. So it's a very different type of experience than coming to a conference. So Nancy, I hope that helps you out. And if you have any questions on these sorts of things, by all means, email us or pick up the phone and call us. We're reachable unless we're in a meeting or something like that by phone as well. So
I just want to quickly bring up a couple of things, since I know a handful of those watching tonight have gotten the NYSFHC at Home Pass, and some of them even do live pretty close. So if somebody had the NYSFHC at Home Pass and they wanted to change that and join us in Albany, can you talk about what the steps are for that?
Yep. So if you would like to upgrade from your NYSFHC at Home Pass to coming and joining us in Albany, if things just work for you and all of a sudden you can change, that's okay. Best way to do that is to phone us in the office so we can do the upgrade price for you. We never keep your credit cards on file. So we just need to process that over the phone. But we would be very happy if you have the opportunity to come and join us in person. We would absolutely love to see you. We really do enjoy talking with everybody and being with everyone in person.
And we also definitely love seeing people return from previous years. I also know there's a good number of people watching tonight who joined us in 2020 or last year, even though it was a virtual conference.
Absolutely.
And for those who have joined us before, please check your emails. We know that you have interest and we want to make sure that you don't miss any special offers. So for those who have been to any of our events, especially previous New York State Family History conferences, just keep checking and see if there's anything for you.
Right. And if you don't find that, you can always email us at education@nygbs.org. And we can resend an email if you happen to have missed something. So. Okay, any other open questions? I can only reiterate, I'm really looking forward to seeing everyone who's coming to Albany. The at home is a lot of fun. I love being with you, over Zoom and other ways too, but it's also special to be in person.
And this is also going to be my first time at the New York State Family History Conference. So I'm definitely really excited to get there and just see everything about it. I've already been seeing some of the sessions that are being recorded, and I'm already really excited to share all of this information and these great presentations with you all.
Great. It's good to hear that you're enjoying already the sessions that the speakers are recording. So.
Yeah, and it's great getting to meet these people. Really lovely group of speakers this year, and they're all really friendly, really knowledgeable. And there's going to be plenty of opportunities for you to say hi and get to meet them in Albany.
That's right. Okay, anything else, Noah?
I think that's about it. If you have any other questions, please, our inbox is always open. Please just send something over to education@nygbs.org, and we will be happy to answer any other questions you have. We do just have a question about how many people we expect to attend.
Yeah, that's a good question. The last couple of conferences we had in person, we had between 500 and 600 people in person. We clearly do not expect that many people in Albany this year. I would say we'll probably be in person in the 200 to 250 person range. So we are working on how we are going to set up the rooms to give people distance if they want it. And when people want to be a little bit closer, that option too. So we are very conscious that some people want to be distanced from others and some people don't. So it will not be a packed, everyone is every single chair full sort of feeling in Albany this year. There will be room. So.
We did get one last comment asking if in-person will be Zoomed. Can you elaborate on that a little?
Yeah, while we may use Zoom as the back channel to do that, we do some other production. The conference live stream will be on our website. That's the way we were able to do it for 2020 and 2021. So you will not need to log into different sessions all day. You'll be able to go to the NYG&B website, to the conference section of the website, and log in and be able to see the live streams. Later, when it's on demand, you'll have a section where you can go, and each session will have its own page. And you can watch the session from there, and you can download the handout from that page. So it won't quite be like a Zoom, and there will be live chat as well.
I think that's about it for tonight. So I just want to thank everybody who joined us. I hope you learned more about the conference and got excited to see us in Albany or tune in from home. And we can't wait either.
All right. Well said, Noah.
Thank you.
All right. Good night, everyone. Good to see you all.